Friends, Romans, countrymen. This is not going to be the usual video because we just need to talk about something right now. As many of you know, December 10th is the day scheduled for what's called the YouTube Purge, where YouTube announced on December 10th they're going to get rid of a lot of channels that are quote-unquote not economically viable, whatever that means. That's open to their discretion, their determination. There's no exact definition of that. So it gives them all the leeway, everything's in their favor to just simply get rid of anyone whose opinion they don't like. And this has actually been going on for a while. They've already deleted a lot of channels, just not because they were violating terms of service, but because they didn't like their opinions. People like James Allsup, who was really just running a fairly mainstream political channel. Now, it was very conservative or very to the right, but it was backed up by facts, data, and it was just political stuff that 20, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, even a lot of Democrats would have agreed with them, and that would have been pretty mainstream stuff. But they just deleted Owen Benjamin. Now, I was going to do a video about Owen. Let me turn this fan down in case it's making noise. I was going to do a video about Owen. Now I can hear myself better. But I don't know if I will now, at least not for the time being. But people have been asking me what I think of Owen Benjamin. And long story short, for the most part, I really like him. I think he does a lot of good stuff. Now, he has a very different style than me. He talks about a lot of things that are not in my wheelhouse of what I talk about on this channel, but they're at least interesting, and I think he does a lot of really good stuff. Now, his style, of course, is extremely different than mine. Of course, he uses profanity. You won't find any of that on this channel, but he was deleted. So now you have to go to BitChute, DLive, his own website, unauthorized.tv, I think it is, because and here's why too, he'd gotten word that he was going to be deleted on December 10th. His channel had over 100 million views, I think around 200,000 subscribers, but it's not just the subscribers, it's the actual engagement. He got really high view counts. His audience were really engaged. They will watch a 2-hour-long live stream from beginning to end. So it's not the subscriber count, it's how engaged your followers actually are. And he really had something really big, especially considering he'd been kicked off a lot of other platforms where he can't promote his streams, like Twitter. But he's gone now from YouTube. So you got to go BitChute. And I just signed up for BitChute today. It's my channel's Men's Success Bible, same as it is here. And I'm going to be uploading there. And it's funny, yesterday I had a viewer asking me, are you on BitChute? And I said, no, but I need to be. And we all need to be, because we need to diversify a little bit, even if you're not a content creator yourself. We need to take away some of the power of these monopolies of these large corporations. And if we start spending time, even if it's just as a consumer, consuming content, watching video, reading posts, whatever, and less time on their platforms, it's going to take away a lot of their power. And the bad news is they're deleting a lot of our favorite creators. And Owen Benjamin, I think they deleted him early. They decided to jump the gun and not wait for December 10th, even though they already had him scheduled to be deleted. Why? Because he was talking about what's going on. He was telling his audience of thousands of people, and then those people go out and talk, and they tell their friends and such, creating somewhat of a ripple effect. And he was getting the word out that this is what's going on, and they're like, we can't have that, so let's just get rid of them right now. So they didn't bother waiting. I had a similar situation happen to me on a social media site, photo hosting site called Flickr. If you're under 25, you probably don't even know what that is. That used to be a pretty big social media photo sharing site back in the day, 2005, 2006, 2007. It lost its luster, but I was still on it as of last year, and I had probably one of the most popular pages on that site, but it was bought by new people and they were making some changes, so I started speaking out against the new owners of what their policies are, claiming, hey, this is really going to be the final nail. This website's already almost dead, but this is going to be the final nail in the coffin, and it's going to be completely dead. And they didn't like me telling my audience that I disagreed with their new policy changes and the new way they were going to run the website. So they used, I think this is what they used as an excuse. I had a photo posted, and there was a guy in the background wearing a t-shirt with a Nazi flag on it. And there's a lot of bots on Flickr, kind of like Instagram, that will auto-like. It's not even a human looking at it, but they will like the post, because then they want you to go check out their page. Oh, who liked my post? Oh, I'll check out them, and then follow them. But it's automated. It's done by bots. It's not even a human looking at it. So I put a funny caption, and part of the reason I think a lot of my posts were popular, I often had funny captions, or interesting captions at least. So I had a photo, and there's a guy on the street behind me wearing a t-shirt with a Nazi flag, and the caption was, if you think Nazis are awesome, like this post. And of course it got over 100 likes, and people were kind of laughing in the comments section, who's liking this? But it's all these accounts that are using bots. It was just kind of a funny thing, but they said that I posted hateful content. That was hateful content, so we got to kick you off. But the reality was, they didn't like me telling all my followers, especially when you're one of the most popular profiles on the entire site, they didn't like me telling my followers that what they're doing is not good, their new policies. And it's kind of funny, because I saw a post by Owen today on Instagram, going back to Owen, and he pointed out, and this is very true, that they make it sound like he's so dangerous, a guy speaking into a webcam. Meanwhile, Google executives are literally raping people. And that's true. Just last year, they had a walkout of Google employees, where the employees walked out for a day because there was an executive that was accused of raping a woman at Google. And they let this executive go, but they gave him a $90 million severance package. So it's like, okay, you can't work here anymore, but here's $90 million to go have fun with. And of course, that's not right at all. And the employees walked out for a day. I don't think anyone quit because they don't want to lose their jobs. As much as I admire them walking out, I don't think they had the integrity to all leave. Can you imagine if every employee left at once over something like that? But another thing I want to say, going back to what kind of company Google is, and I mean, I've been on YouTube since 2006, and I remember I was talking earlier today at lunch with my wife about, remember when Google wanted us to do that advertisement for them? This is what happened. This was around 2014, 2015, and I had one of the most popular channels in the country where I reside in, and Google, like, they wanted to get some of the top YouTubers from the country, and they said, hey, we got a gig for you. We're going to have you produce a video promoting, I think it was Google search is what they want us to promote. So we're like, oh, cool, and we were all excited, and we're like, Google, like, even if this doesn't pay a lot, at least this will pay something. So we go to the Google offices in the city where we live, and we have this meeting, and the guy that's in charge of this project, he's some European guy, and he's not even in the same country, so he's going to do a video conference. So they put us in a conference room, and he's late, we have to wait. So we do a video conference with this guy, this European guy, and he seems actually completely disinterested, like he doesn't care at all. But he's telling me and my wife, you guys got to come up with some good ideas, and you got to share them, and you got to make a really good video at this. And after his whole spiel telling us what we need to do, I said, okay, fine. But by the way, how much does this pay? And this is Google, billions and billions of dollars, this company. I said, how much does this pay? And he goes, he said, this isn't going to pay you anything. At Google, we don't pay people. And he said, if you do this for us, though, maybe we'll promote you at some point in the future. Maybe we'll help give your YouTube channel a little push. So there was this faint promise, which is very weak, that is not going to come through, of maybe we'll promote you if you spend time and maybe even money having to produce a video for us. And me and my wife, we just walked out, and we just said, yeah, we're not going to do this. I actually want to ask the guy, and I want to say this, so Google doesn't pay people, so you're working for Google on a volunteer process yourself? Is that what you're trying to tell us? So We didn't end up doing it. I know of a couple people that did. There was a guy that made comedic videos, and there was another guy that's a local rock star. And I don't think they got any help from Google whatsoever. I mean, this was going back 2014, 2015. I don't even think I had 100,000 subscribers at that point, but I was still one of the most viewed, most subscribed channels in the country where I live in. Now, since then, of course, people have come and they've blown me away, and there's people in this country that are just huge. And there's a few reasons for that. Like, one is the algorithm. Also, then there's other people that start doing it. There's more competition, and there's people that are fresher, newer. Sometimes you lose your edge, but a lot of it's also, quite frankly, I think the algorithm. And I don't really even make videos on that channel anymore, even though I have nearly 500,000 subscribers, because you get to the point where your videos are just as good as they've ever been. You put in just as much effort, but they're getting a fraction of the views they used to get. So just, it takes away all incentive, and I think that's a lot of what Google has been trying to do to certain people, and they have been throttling certain channels, certainly, and now they're just outright deleting them because they don't want, even if they can cut your audience down by a fraction, they don't want that message getting out, creating a potential ripple effect. So now this is all what's going on, but ultimately I'm quite happy. I noticed Owen has a pretty good attitude, considering they deleted something they spent so much time and built up from scratch. But I knew that Google has this attitude too, because I remember back in 2010 I was in the help forums for YouTube, and occasionally YouTube employees, they would respond, and there was someone that had an issue where they were a YouTube partner, and for some reason, they didn't even know why, their monetization got revoked. They got kicked out of AdSense, and they were posting, can I at least get an answer why? I think they did something really benign, like knitting videos or something like that. And a YouTube employee actually responded and said, well, look, you shouldn't have put, because this is someone that they were saying, this is how I support my family, I made my living. But a YouTube employee responded and said, all they had to say was, you shouldn't have put all your eggs in one basket. And it's like, wow, that really shows how much they care about us. So I have a BitChute, links in the description. Spend some time on BitChute. The other night, actually, I was on BitChute for quite a while, and I found quite a lot of interesting content that I wouldn't have found if I was on YouTube. So we got to support these alternative platforms, whether it's BitChute, DLive, Gab. And I remember Ben Shapiro's speech at Stanford. He took a subtle shot at Gab where it was an insult towards Gab, where he said these alt-right guys, they spend time on places like 4chan and Gab. And it's like, well, if Ben Shapiro is against Gab because he wants to support the very large corporations like Google and Twitter, that's what he wants you to support. But I thought that wow, now he's trying to vilify a free speech platform, which he's went on camera, and I showed that in one of my videos, as being against free speech. But if Ben Shapiro is against these alternative platforms, it tells you it's probably a good thing. So I know this wasn't my regular video here, and I think I got a lot of stuff off my chest. But don't worry, my friends. These are some temporary hard times and setbacks that we have to go through, but ultimately everything's going to be for the better. This is just the beginning of taking away power from this huge corporation. Even though they seem unbeatable, it ain't that way in the reality. So trust me, good things are going to come. I don't know exactly when. I don't know how long some of these harder times are going to last, but we will withstand it, and things will work out for the best, I promise.